love doing 1 meal a day myself. I alternate between 2 meals and 1 meal, but I skip breakfast. In fact, I always joke to my friends saying that the last time I ever had breakfast was probably 1999. So, and it's true. 21 years I've not had any breakfast. And I've gone against my GP's advice, I have to say. So then I learned to shut up and say nothing, because my GP said, oh, no, you're diabetic. You must eat something. Have a protein bar.
Yeah.
That was one. In fact, the protein bars we know are actually carb bars. They're full of sugar but that was
all kinds of things. Yes, sweeteners, sugar, probably seed oils. Really the message is for people with food addiction problems, you've got to stick to real whole foods. So meat, fish, eggs, above ground veg. It's kind of I suppose you describe it as a sort of clean keto, really, because you're trying to cut out the sweeteners and be careful with dairy and nuts and things like that. So you're not having things like nut butters. Those people can really overeat those. So
they're delicious.
I had to ban peanut butter completely from the house. I couldn't have it in the house because I would just it was like crack cocaine. I used to just eat it out of the jar, and that was what the thing is. We feel like we ought to be just in control of our behavior, but some of these foods hijack that dopamine center of the brain, that survival part of the brain, and that's going to push you around. Even though we're clever people, we're sensible, we know we don't want to eat those things. If they're in the house, you're going to, and they're there, your clever brain will find a way of making you eat them despite your best intentions. So it's not about, that's what I learned, really. It's not, I used to think, why can't I just control myself? It's because of that, because of this primitive part of the brain. So control your environment, get those things out of the house. Try not to go to places, particularly in the beginning, try not to go to places where all your favorite foods are, until you get a bit stronger and a bit in the habit of saying, they're not the kinds of foods that I eat, because we can be triggered so easily by the environment. If we see something, someone else is having it, if we hear it or we smell it, the brain can just get you, overtake you, and that's why we all fall off the wagon. It's how we kind of learn that. So we try and talk to patients about there's no such thing as a mess up or a failure. It's just that you've learned something new. You've learned that actually it's not a great idea for you to go to McDonald's, or you can't, you're kidding yourself if you think that you can have that peanut butter in the house and not eat it. I had to, several times I would go out and buy it again, thinking, right, this time I'm just going to have a little bit, and it just never worked. And if it never works, be honest with yourself. You'd be brutally honest. Have I ever has it ever worked out well that I did that? No.
Unless, of course, you're short like me. I'm a short, small person. So I put my peanut butter jar on the top shelf in the kitchen, which I can't reach. I have to bring a chair or something to step on, which is too much of a hassle. So I don't access it. It's right there if I ever need it. But I don't see it. So I don't remember it. So it's gone. It's out of sight.
That's a great technique, and I think that's right. Either just don't buy it at all, or maybe put it out of sight. Have a cupboard that someone else has got the key to. You have to trick yourself. You have to plan, and you have to get your brain in order by making these small changes. That's great.